Out of all of the bullshit that I see when it comes to online business, and I see a lot, there is one thing that stands out among everything else as the biggest load of bullshit that I've ever seen or heard. I'm going to tell you what it is in this video, okay? When it comes to growing your business, growing your coaching business, or any other kind of business, there are always some very specific actions that you have to follow in order to get a result. It's cause and effect. You do certain things, you get certain results. If you do the right things, then you get the desired result. If you do the wrong things, you get an undesired result, or you get no result at all. Now, there's no easier way to sell something to someone than to convince them that the reason they're not getting the result is because of something that is not within their control. Right now, this isn't something that I tend to do. I'll be the first person to tell you that everything you do is within your control, okay? But I'm seeing a whole bunch of ads lately talking about this. And I thought, do you know what? I want to make a video on this, right? If there is one thing that is not going to determine your business success, the amount of money you make, how far you go, it is anything to do with numerology, astrology, star signs. This is all absolute bullshit. Okay. I've seen a few business people talking about, you know, you have to do this based on your star sign, or you have to do this based on numerology. Listen, guys, the month you were born, the day you were born, the time you were born, none of these have any impact whatsoever on how much money you make or how you do in business. No impact whatsoever. And if you buy into any of this stuff, you deserve to get scammed because that's what's going to happen, okay? Listen, if you're into that stuff, fair enough. I know some women are. My girlfriend is. She's all about zodiac signs and whatnot, right? But the simple fact is, when it comes to growing a business and, you know, making a shit ton of money, it's just inputs versus outputs. You know, it's nothing to do with star signs, you know, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Pisces. Right? None of these are going to impact your business. None of them. People really overcomplicate this stuff, right? It's very, very simple to build a successful online business. All you have to do, and in fact, let me just walk you through the steps now. I'm not going to get technical here. I'm not going to get super strategic, but when you break things down, I've just realized there's a load of sun in the background there. When you break things down to first principles, right? Every coaching business is built in the same way. Some of them just use extremely effective strategies, and some of them use less effective strategies. But every single person you ever turn, you know, from a cold prospect who doesn't know you into a client, it's done in the same way. It's done in the same way. So let me break this down in the simplest possible way, how you can turn people into clients and make more money. So first of all, you need to solve a problem that a lot of people are looking to solve. Right? That's step one. I might be stating the obvious there, but that's step one. Solve a problem that tons of people are looking to solve and they're willing to pay money to solve. Then you need to create something cheap that helps them solve a small problem or something in that area that they're experiencing, something that helps them, basically. You create a cheap offer that helps people with something, okay? Now, you structure that cheap offer in a way that educates the person on the fact that you can help them with that little result, but you can also help them get this really big result that they want, right? That's the job of your front end offer. Simple as that, all right? Now, once you've done this, you have to push a ton of people, to that offer. So if we use logic here, what's the easiest way to push a ton of people to that offer? Running ads, right? You want to be able to run ads. If you're trying to grow your business without running ads, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, you're going to struggle to get a lot of traffic, right? So, you know, it's going to be difficult to scale if you can't get tons of traffic at will. Yeah, just purely from a numbers perspective, it's going to be difficult. You know, if you're getting 5 leads a day, it's going to be very difficult to grow your business compared to if you're getting 50 leads or 100 leads a day. Yeah. But secondly, what's going to happen, and this is something that a lot of beginners don't think about, is even if you do start to get some results, let's say you start making 10 grand a month, 15 grand a month. Well, you're going to get to the point where you realize that you've got golden shackles, right? For lack of a better term. Golden shackles, like you'll build something and you're like, yeah, I'm making money now. And then you'll be like, oh shit, this actually sucks, right? So you want to be able to run ads. Now, you don't want to run ads to something free. In order to run ads, you have to build a funnel that is structured in a way where you can send people into it, get them to buy that cheap thing, get them to buy a couple of other things so that all of your money is made back. Now you can just spend that money again, spend that money again, spend that money again, right? I've done this, I'm on my 4th time doing this. I've built 3 seven-figure coaching businesses with this model, this exact same model, just for different processes, right, over the years. And every single time I've done it the same way. You start with 20, 30 bucks a day, and then you reinvest the profits. Not once has my bank balance ever dropped when I start driving traffic, because you build the funnel in a way where that doesn't happen, right? So now you're at a point where you can run traffic into the funnel, you can get tons of customers, those customers are going to be nurtured and they're going to be like, oh shit, this person can really help me with this stuff. And now all you need is a way to actually get those people to become clients. So first of all, your low ticket offer can do this if you follow the milestone offer method that I teach, right? There's a $7 workshop below if you want to check that out. That will allow you to turn customers into clients on autopilot, right? But there are also other ways of doing it. There's a couple of ways that I want to tell you about now. So the first one that you can do is you run a monthly webinar to your customers, right? Not a cold traffic webinar, not a free webinar, right? It can be free, but what I mean is not free to the world, not free to the general public, right? You run it to your customers, because now you've got a whole bunch of people turning up to this webinar who know who you are. And then you close them off the back of the webinar, either straight to a checkout or to a call. Now, another way that you can do it, so you've got the milestone offer, that sends people, you've got the monthly webinar, you can do free or paid. Now, the third way, this is something that I have never actually taught publicly, but this crushes, all right? I'm not gonna go too in depth. But what you wanna do is, throughout the course of the week, let's say you're getting 20 customers a day, that's 140 customers a week. You wanna set up automations to reach out to those 140 people, and you invite them to a weekly kickstart call, right? Now on this kickstart call, again, you can give them some more guidance on how to get things up and running, and then off the back of that kickstart call, you make a pitch. So it's kind of like a webinar with a soft sell, but you can still kind of incentivize people to take action, right? You can get people to take action without hard selling. You don't have to like do the whole Russell Brunson value stack all the time, yeah? You just give them a really good deal on that kickstart call and you'll have a whole bunch of people jump in. Now, something you may have noticed about what I've just told you is none of this has anything to do with the time of day you were born or the month you were born. You can be in a good mood and crush it with this. You can be in a terrible mood and crush it with this, right? You can be in a fantastic, loving, supportive relationship and crush it with this. Or you could be in the midst of a divorce and crush it with this, right? What I'm getting at here is you are in control. It's cause and effect. If you do the right things in your business, Nothing else matters. It will work. And if what you are doing right now isn't yielding the result that you want, it's because you're doing the wrong things. It has nothing to do with astrology or numerology or any of this other bullshit, okay? People are being preyed on. That's what's happening here, right? People are selling these kind of spiritual business models to a bunch of people who are all like 100% bought into that spirituality, you know? And I see straight through it. I see straight through it. So that's all you got to do. Sell a low ticket product that shows people that you can help them, right? Off the back of that product, well, not off the back of it, but prior to that product, you build a funnel in a way where you can get hundreds of customers ideally every week. And then those hundreds of customers, you install systems to send them into your high ticket offer. It's that easy. It really is that easy, guys. You don't have to overcomplicate this stuff, all right? Anyway, I was just thinking about that. Something popped up right before I shot this video and I thought, you know what? Let me pull the camera out and let me educate some of you guys on this stuff, yeah? So anyway, that's everything. If you want to learn more, check out some more of the videos on the channel. I've got some stuff that's a little bit more strategic, a little bit more technical. Again, if you want to learn about the milestone offer, there's a $7 workshop underneath where you can check that out. Also, there's a free training underneath where I explain the cashback funnel, which is the funnel that we use to get kind of 100 to 200 customers a week. So you can check that out as well. And if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, hit like on this video just so it boosts it a little bit in the algorithm. I'm trying to get back on this YouTube grind, get this thing going. But that's everything. So I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.